Yeah, we're going to have a fun one today. You know, we work for a lot of high-end clients who have an expectation of very little, if hopefully no damage. So occasionally you get into a situation where you've got something like this, a brand new, really high quality old growth redwood fence. And what I like to do is I like to try to document all the damage that's already there. And by doing so, I don't get blamed for it in the end. I see lots of little specks and lots of little things all the way along here. We've got a landscape that we have to protect. A lot of new plantings, a lot of stuff going on. And by the way, the job is to remove this birch tree. This birch tree has a base of about 16 to 18 inches and a significant amount of decay at the base. Let's see if we can get a little bit of light in here. Oh, there we go. This is also yeah, let's see, what other hazards do we have? Got some wires there, some hot wires up on the top there, but they're not in the tree. Got 2 yards to deal with. We've got delicate patio, we've got an outdoor fireplace, a lot of stuff, and it's a really hazardous tree to take down. Because we got a lawn here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build a little brush pile to soften the blow, place to drop the wood. And if you keep hauling all the wood out or all the brush out as you go, you don't have something to protect with. We took a few of the low limbs off already, and HAZARDOUS doing this job, and he's opted to tie in to the neighboring tree, so he'll be over on this side in the unlikely event that this thing goes down. I don't expect it to go down, but it's always good to play it safe. It's also important to recognize that once you exceed your own body weight in branches off of the tree becomes safer and safer. This crow's over there attacking that hawk. Must be a nest in the tree. That was a bit of fun, high speed there, action, but the truth be known, this job was really slow. Because of that hazard at the base of the tree, none of us felt very good about getting up in the tree. Nobody wanted to be up there very high. And as you can see, we are tied into the adjacent tree. It's kind of hard to tell in that picture there, but there's a rope up in the birch tree off to the left there. So we are somewhat safe, but at the same time, to stabilize yourself in this tree, we are still hooked into it. In the event that something should go down, it's a quick scramble to unhook that flip line around the birch tree that we're in. Once he got the weight of his body mass out of the tree, he felt considerably safer. And we had a bunch of different techniques. Much of it was utilizing the pole saw to get small branches down, and in some cases we had to use the pole saw to put a rope up around something and get it tied off. Nothing big, nothing too abrupt, nothing too fast, but we didn't want to screw up on this job. We didn't want to take any chances and overdo it. This is kind of interesting. This is sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to get the rope up to the branch, and he didn't want to climb up there, so we're utilizing the pole pruner to get the loop around it, and then we got to pull it back down and get it up there so that pretty much we throw the rope up over the top crotch and put it over this one, and everything that we're doing here is with the pole gear. So it worked out pretty good.
Ahí está, va para arriba. Ahí está. Ahora sí, échala.
At one point the wind picked up and pulled on the larger birch tree that HAZARDOUS was tied into, and it gave him a real good tug. And it kind of freaked him out. He thought the tree he was in was going down. He let out a little bit of a holler. Things happen. I've been in trees that have gone down while I've been up in them. And as long as you're on the high side and the tree doesn't come crashing down, you'll generally be okay if you're not too high up there. But you see, he's taking his time. He's just taking one cut at a time. It'd be real easy to say, well, let's climb all the way up there, but he wants to get as much of the weight out of this tree to minimize his movement on the base. Those roots are really rotted at the base. Now it's interesting because there's a lot of foliage on this tree, and you'd think, well, because there's so much green foliage that the tree must be healthy. There's a huge difference between foliar volume and structural stability in the roots. So here he's down to the last little bit, and we decided to flip-flop that into the yard. We had wires behind him that we couldn't hit, and to the right of us we had other wires, and we also had a little bit of a patio that we didn't want to hit. And then back towards us, if we pulled too hard, we'd hit the building. So we had to be careful all the way around. So Jorge did the pull, and the whole idea was just to give a slight pull, just enough to get it coming in the right direction, not give it too much of a jerk, get it away from HAZARDOUS so he feels good. And as you can see, it worked out pretty good. There we go. No problem. Raised the building just a hair, but no damage. Then it's just a matter of piecing the rest of the tree down. You see, HAZARDOUS is still tied into the other tree, and as he works his way down the trunk, pieces get heavier and heavier. One thing I was really curious about was how far did that decay column extend up the tree. Birch trees will often have a wound up high, and the decay will go down through the column of the trunk. But in this case, the wound at the base of the tree was caused by an irrigation system constantly hitting the trunk, and a little bit of crown rot set in, and that was exacerbated by the wet dry of the irrigation system over many years. And it finally reached the point where all the roots were rotting out, but there was enough active cambium tissue to support the life of the tree. But at any point in time, this tree would have gone down. This is about 10 feet up the trunk. The wood is still pretty sound. This is not from decay. That's a natural discoloration that you'll get in the heartwood of birch. But as we go further down, this piece is about 3 feet from the ground. You can see it's already starting to show the decay. Job's all done. Everything's all cleaned up. Blew everything off really well. No scratches that we caused. No additional damage over here. And no damage to any of the plants.